Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another VKids Sunday. It's great to have you join with us today. And good morning, Hamilton. How are you doing? Are you good? That's great. Now, Hamilton, do you remember a few weeks ago when we asked the kids at home to send in some ideas for the name of our young friend down here? Do you remember? Yes, well, today we are going to pick the winner. Now, I wanted to put them all in a hat so we can draw out the winner out of a hat, but the only hat that I could find was Jeni Jogsalot's space helmet. So we've got her space helmet here with all the names in. So Hamilton, do you want to choose one? Okay, in you go. Have you got one? Yes, thank you. All right, let's see who is the winner. And the name is Slothy, and that was sent in from Blake. So thank you, Blake. So our young friend down here, his name is Slothy. Thank you for sending that in to us. Now we've got one more announcement. Don't forget we've got our VKids Holy Week boxes, which you can register for at the moment at vintagechurchla.com/VKids, so you can get those on there as well. But first of all, we have got lots happening this morning, haven't we, Hamilton? But we're going to head straight to Granny Page Turner, who's going to tell us about the story. So over to you, Granny Page Turner. Hello, who've we got there today? Oh, it's the VKids! Hello everyone, Granny Page Turner here, just enjoying a nice cup of tea with my knitting. Now, do you remember the story from last week? It was about how Jesus calmed the storms by just telling the waves to be quiet, wasn't it? And now, this week, we're going to be learning about how Jesus took somebody's small lunch and made it feed 5,000 people. Now, where's my Bible? Here's my Bible. If you've got your Jesus Storybook Bibles, it's going to be on page 244 in there, and it's called Filled Full. So let's watch the story now together.
Filled full. There were once 5,000 tired and hungry, and probably very grumpy, people sitting on a hillside wanting their dinner. They'd come to hear Jesus that day. They came before breakfast, stayed all morning, all afternoon, and way past dinner. No one had meant to be out there that long, but that's how it was, listening to Jesus, as if time didn't exist. People could listen to Jesus for hours, and on this particular day, that's just what they did. But they hadn't brought enough food, and they couldn't just go and buy themselves a burger and fries to go, because, of course, they were in the middle of nowhere with no shops or restaurants. Besides, that kind of food wasn't invented yet. What would they do? Jesus' friends had an idea. Let's send everyone home for dinner. They don't need to go, Jesus said. You can give them something to eat. Did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town and buy food for everyone? Jesus' friends panicked. But we don't have enough money. What food do you have? Jesus asked. Go and see. Now, there was a little boy in the crowd. He had brought a lunch that his mother had made for him that morning. He looked at his 5 loaves and 2 fish. It wasn't much. Well, not nearly enough for 5,000. But it was all he had. I have some, he said. Jesus' friends laughed when they saw his little lunch. That's not nearly enough, they said. But they were wrong. Jesus knew it didn't matter how much the little boy had. God would make it enough, more than enough. Jesus said, Bring me what you have. And so the little boy gave Jesus his lunch. Jesus winked at the little boy and whispered in his ear, Watch. How in the world will Jesus feed everyone with just that? Jesus' friends said, because they thought it was impossible. But Jesus knew the one who made all the fish in the oceans, and Jesus knew the one who in the very beginning had made everything out of nothing at all. How hard would something like this be for someone like that? Jesus took the little boy's lunch, looked up to heaven, and thanked his Father. Then Jesus gave the little lunch back to his friends. As Jesus' friends started to hand out the food, do you know what? It was the strangest thing. No matter how much they broke off, there was always more, and more, and more. Enough for 5,000. Everyone ate as much as they wanted. Second helpings, third helpings, even fourths, until they were full, and still there were leftovers. Well, Jesus did many miracles like this. Things people thought couldn't happen, that weren't natural. But it was the most natural thing in all the world. It's what God had been doing from the beginning, of course, taking the nothing and making it everything, taking the emptiness and filling it up, taking the darkness and making it light.
Wow, Hamilton, what an amazing story that was about how Jesus took that tiny lunch and made it feed 5,000 people. And now we're going to head over to Professor Bonkers in the science lab, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the story. So over to you, Professor Bonkers. Oh, hello everyone. Professor IB Bonkers here. Great to be with you for another Sunday morning. Just caught me eating some of my sandwiches there. Now, in our story, Jesus made that little boy's lunch feed 5,000 people, didn't he? Can you imagine my little sandwiches feeding 5,000 people? Wasn't it amazing? Jesus took that little that he had and made it into this huge lunch to fill everyone. And the disciples didn't think he could do it, did they? But he could, because Jesus can take the small things that we have to offer and make it into something huge. Now, I've got a way that we can learn a bit more about that by doing an experiment. Yes, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take my beaker here. And I'm going to put in a bit of baking soda. Now, I've got my little tray here. If you try this at home, you might need a little tray just to catch the bits, okay. So we're going to put in some baking soda. There we go, put some in there. That's it. Right, now, the next thing I'm going to do is put in a little bit of food colouring. So, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to drop in some food colouring into there. All right, now, we're going to imagine that this is us. This is just a little that we've got to offer, okay? This is just what we've got to offer to Jesus. And this is Jesus. Now, should we see what's going to happen when we add Jesus into this little that we've got to offer? All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Amazing! Can you see that it's all bubbled over? That little that we had to offer, we've added Jesus and it's made it into something big. Amazing! And that's what we can do with our lives. We might feel like we've not got much to offer, that we're not that great a person, or we haven't got much to give to Jesus. But you know, when we ask Jesus into our lives, he can make things that might seem small to us seem huge, just like in the Bible story when he took that tiny offering of that little lunch that that boy had and made it feed 5,000 people. All right, now if you try this at home, do send in your pictures because we love to see them at vkids@vintagechurchla.com. All right, till next time, I'll see you soon. Bye. Wow, thank you, Professor Bonkers, for showing us that the little we have, we can offer to God and he can make it huge. So now we're going to head over to Hamilton's house where he's going to tell us what the memory verse is for today. So over to you, Hamilton.
Hello VKids, it's memory verse time. And today the verse comes from Matthew 19 verse 26. And it says, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. It's just like Professor Bonkers just said. God is so powerful, he can do amazing miracles. So you all have great fun learning that for this week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!
Wow, Hamilton, what an amazing memory verse that was. And you know, that verse really, really makes me want to praise and worship God. And the great news is we're going into our worship time now, but what do we need to do first, Hamilton? Yes, we need to head over to Jeni Jogsalot for our worship warm-up. So over to you, Jeni. Jeni Jogsalot here, just out here in Melbourne, Australia, rehearsing for the worship song we're about to do. Now we're going to be doing Bigger Than Big, because we're remembering how God does the impossible today, aren't we? So we're going to do that one. So let's just go over some of the actions. So it goes bigger than big. That's it. It goes stronger than strong. And then it says he's mightier than mighty. So we go mightier than mighty. And then you're going to shout really loud when it says he's louder than this song. Amazing. But first of all, we need to do our warm-up. So let's have everyone standing up. All right, find a space, wriggle around. Yes, all right, we are going to do our 10 punches across. And remember what I always say, make sure you're not standing too near someone else in your house, because you don't want to accidentally punch them in the arm, okay? Here we go. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing, you guys. Let's all worship together.
God, you made our big blue sky. You made the oceans deep and wide. God, you made the trees so tall. And your love is bigger than it all. God, you're bigger than big, stronger than strong. Yeah, you're mightier than mighty, louder than this song. Your love for me stretches farther than far. I can't imagine just how big you are, just how big you are. Oh, yeah. God, you made our big blue sky. You made the oceans deep and wide. God, you made the trees so tall, yeah. Your love is bigger than it all. God, you're bigger than big, stronger than strong. Yeah, you're mightier than mighty, louder than this song. Your love for me stretches farther than far. I can't imagine just how big you are, just how big you are. God, so big, we love you, Lord. All right, guys, let's do this one more time. God, you're bigger than big, stronger than strong. Yeah, you're mightier than mighty, louder than this song. Your love for me stretches farther than far. I can't imagine just how big you are, just how big you are. How big? I can't imagine just how big you are, just how big you are.
Wow, Hamilton, I just love that song that we just did about how big and powerful our God is. But you guys, we've come to the end of our VKids session for today, but don't worry, because we've got all of our fun activities available online at vintagechurchla.com/VKids, so look out for those on there. But until next week, it's goodbye from me and Hamilton, and from our new friend Slothy, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!